We're here at the launch of the Curvv EV with Sailesh Chandra, Managing Director of Tata Motors. Sailesh, thank you so much for speaking with us, and congratulations, of course, on the Curvv EV.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I have to ask you, the first question. With the Curvv, you've now entered the mid-size SUV segment. Tata, you have a lineup of SUVs. You've had, from the micro SUVs, you've had large ones to the Safari and the Harrier, but this was kind of missing. So what are your expectations now getting into this, which is actually quite a busy and competitive segment?
No, absolutely. If you really see our journey in the last 5-6 years also, it has been a lot focused on SUVs, because this is something which we were we anticipated while we were formulating our strategy, that SUV segment, which then when we were strategizing was like 20-25% of the total, and when we were seeing globally what the trends are, it clearly pointed out that not only because there is a general body style shift that we are seeing globally, there is India specific requirement of SUV which is more practical, off-roading, or a pothole roads and all, rural areas, everywhere people were looking for practical, SUVs for practical consideration. So SUV we were very confident, therefore today also you see 66% of our sales would be coming from SUVs. In the SUV space, you would have seen that we have gone with slightly differentiated approach. We have always tried to be a pioneer in whichever segment we enter. Right from the times of Sierra, if you see in the 1990s, it was slightly ahead of its time, or a Safari which introduced the concept of lifestyle SUV. Even Nexon and Punch, if you see, were new concepts in their respective segment, and they have grown over a period of time. So as you rightly said that in mid-size SUV we were not present, which is the 4.3 meter segment as we call it. We said this is a congested segment now. This is very fast growing but is very congested. Logical upgrades for some of the SUVs like Nexon, etc., what we have is a mid-size SUV, and the link is broken there. You have then a Harrier Safari, so we wanted to come with a product in a congested segment which could be clutter breaking. Now, why we chose SUV coupe? For simple reason that globally we were seeing that coupe as a body style trend is growing, especially in the premium SUV space. So why not bring a concept in this segment which is slightly exclusive, which is clutter breaking, which is in line with the global trend again, and democratizes something which is available in the premium SUV segment in India, in a segment which is going to grow the fastest. That was the whole thinking, and therefore that makes me feel very confident. We have seen the journey of Nexon, we have seen the journey of Punch, that it grows over a period of time. People start loving this feeling, and especially in this segment, if you really see the customer, these are upgraders, right? They have used a car. They are discerning customers, they understand. Now the buy is a mix of utilitarian considerations and emotional consideration. Here the emotional consideration is, I have been successful in my life, I want something exclusive, I want something which is aesthetically appealing, I get the creature comfort. Coupe is a mix of all this. So that was the whole rationale of going with a coupe body style kind of an approach in this segment.
So, that answers another one of my questions, like why the coupe in a segment which is all traditional SUVs. But given that you are now, let's say, standing apart, do you expect this to, in terms of volumes, I know you're not going to give me numbers, but are you looking at it being like a niche play, or are you going to be right in the segment and capturing market share?
It's a mainstream play. I mean, there's no reason why it should be a niche play, because if now you get into tech specs, if you get into length, breadth, dimension, geometry, everything a customer gets. Rather, a customer gets a much bigger boot space than anything you expect. This is a category which gives you a 400-liter boot space. This will be like 500-liter boot space. So therefore, this has more utilitarian aspects also, at the same time feature which is possibly equal to the segment, or if not more, right? You bring an ADAS, you bring the next level of styling, technology, safety features in this car. So I believe this is head on with all the conventional players, and we expect that as we do in all the cars in our portfolio, that we want to be among the top selling cars in their respective segment. That would be the aspiration here also. We know that it's a new body style, it will grow over a period of time, and people will start accepting, but it will be, from the word go, this should be a mainstream play for us.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so I think also your powertrain strategy clearly indicates that, in the sense that you're not going with just one. You've got, ICE and EV. So what's the expectation from, like, today we've seen only the EV, of course, but what's the expectation from the two, powertrains? What's the mix that you're looking at in terms of, let's say, volume? Do you think the EV would be, the smaller, ICE would capture more? What are your plans?
No, at this stage of evolution, we have seen that the penetration of EV within that nameplate varies a lot. And I would expect that it can vary anywhere between 15% to 30% also. So we'll have to really go through that discovery phase where this really ends. But I'm very confident that there will be a greater traction also now coming for Curvv EV in specific, because this is a category where for the first time, I think you have seen that we have come to a level of price parity with a petrol 80. And this is not just a city car now, right? These are, battery packs which are 45 and 55 kilowatt hour. So therefore, it gives full freedom to a customer. So I believe that penetration of EV should be better. It takes care of range anxiety. It takes care of price parity issue that was there. It takes care of charging times also. You are seeing the charging time drastically coming down with this. So therefore, I believe that there can be a possibility of a higher mix of EV. Also, given that now actively automatic ICE buyer might start considering this, because this is giving them that price parity, and range anxiety issue is also worked.
So what you're saying is, like, the EV could be viewed as another powertrain choice, yes, rather than a special or separate, correct, niche vehicle.
As a mainstream choice.
As a mainstream choice, right. And speaking of mainstream, your growth has been, like, kind of phenomenal for you, all the sales thing. But I have to ask you, because there have been a lot of customer complaints, and we've also got people reaching out to us in terms of the service. I think there's been specific to, and very specifically to, electrical and electronic issues. Now, is that something that, the EV challenge brings in, and, the new architecture, and because it's software and electrical issues, is it easier to, address, and what are your plans there?
No, so see, I must say that service, quality, all these are journey, especially in a auto industry which is going through a lot of technology disruptions. Let me first talk specifically of service. We have grown very fast in the last 4 years or so. We had not really anticipated what kind of growth we will have. So service, number of service stations that we needed has slightly lagged, especially in certain hotspots, right? That is what we are trying to fix by increasing the bay productivity, increasing the number of bays, increasing very fast in an accelerated manner the number of service stations in this. So there is some level of lag that we have on the service side, and therefore there has been issues around the turnaround time and all, which we are fixing through some temporary means. There is also, as you rightly said, that it has nothing to do with EVs. I would say it has more to do with the world of softwares, right? Where, as I said, you're going through a disruption phase. The new text that you are introducing has to go through the journey of understanding the practical use case of the environment. And it is not Tata Motors, it is all the manufacturers which have glitches on the software side. I would say that we have acted with great degree of agility in the last 4-5 months to fix a lot of these issues, and I believe that a lot of it would be behind us now. We are utilizing those learnings in our new launches so that right from the start you face less of those issues. So we have been trying to also mature the whole process of the way we do our software maturity.
Okay, so it is, I guess, in that sense, easier to address, it being software.
Yes.
Sailesh, also you all announced today the Atlas platform as the name for this platform. If you can just tell us a little bit about the differences, why a new name, and how is it different from the others?
Correct. So see, now broadly, platform is a term that is slightly losing its relevance. It is the whole architecture which makes sense these days, which is the mechanical layer, chassis layer, powertrain layer, the connected car layer, and so on. And you have seen that in the ICE, EV world, we have talked about it more in a more elaborate way. But when you talk about the mechanical platform, this needed a different platform because of greater SUV capability. So Atlas was to bring greater SUV capability, further make the whole safety part more robust for ourselves, and also go through the journey of lightweighting and all. So it's a combination of all these things that has led us to develop the Atlas platform, which can take multiple body styles. So future nameplates which might come with you know, which can be SUVs, which has the flexibility of coming on this platform. Some of our current products might also transition going forward to this platform, right? So that has been the idea behind Atlas, and Curvv is the first product to come on that.
Okay, that's interesting. So I'm going to press you a little further there maybe. So the Sierra, which we expect would be the next one, would be on this platform, I would
not comment today.
Okay.
You'll have to wait and wait for
Fair enough, fair enough. Also, you know, you've now entered the mid-size segment. You've plugged that gap as we were discussing earlier. Do you think, though, that there could be some cannibalization internally with the Nexon?
So they are, you know, they are adjacent segments. You know, CUV and mid SUV are adjacent segments. I believe that when a customer's Nexon for me or the CUV segment is primarily a first-time buyer segment. 60% of our buyers of Nexon are first-time buyers. For me, mid SUV or a Curvv is a upgrade segment. You know, people will transition from the lower segment to higher segment. So primarily the user or customer segment is slightly different. And therefore I believe the choice of body style is also something which varies from one customer to the other. You have cars, several cars in the industry with different body styles at the same price point but do well. It is important that you are in two different segments which are really growing fast and big in size, so that there are enough customers for the two different categories. Some level of cannibalization nobody can prevent, right? Somebody who is wanting to buy a high-end Nexon can also consider a mid, you know, variant of a Curvv and all. That level of cannibalization is fine. But broadly speaking, I don't see a big cannibalization between the two.
Sailesh, now I know you're really busy today, so last question. We've seen the electric version. You've announced a month later we will see the ICE versions. Petrol, diesel, so great lineup. Can you also add CNG to this new platform?
I think it would be too premature, but I would say that it is under active consideration. Okay. While designing the car, we have ensured that it is protected for CNG. But as of now, I don't have a specific date for that. We are closely watching this segment. We do see that CNG is being offered in this segment. So I can only say that it will be under active consideration.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Sailesh, for speaking to us. And we will catch you, I guess, at the launch of the ICE versions.
Thank you.